what I told my command and all my leaders. I told them, look, we're going to war, and this is going to change you. I'm Major General David Blackledge. I've been in the Army for just short of 34 years. That first tour in Iraq, ended up spending 14 months initially as brigade commander, and then assumed command of all the civil affairs forces in Iraq, Kuwait, and Jordan. I was severely injured in an ambush right towards the end of my first tour, and spent the next 11 months in recovery, rehabilitation before I was returned to active duty. It was actually very helpful. Once I got to Walter Reed, the senior psychiatrist met with me and explained some of the things I could expect as I recovered, and the kind of post-traumatic stress kinds of things that may manifest themselves, and he would monitor those. I'd gotten the monitored help when I was in my recovery from injuries sustained in the ambush, but then I deployed again, and of course, as soon as you get notified you're deploying again, all your systems go on alert. You start gearing up your battle mind, particularly after you've been deployed. You know what to expect. Went through my second deployment, got wounded again during a suicide bombing, but I recovered from that and was able to finish that. It was midway through my tour. I was able to finish, but it really was about a year after that I was still experiencing nightmares. I was still having trouble sleeping. I would still get angry, unnecessarily frustrated, and I just started thinking, well, is this just the way it is going to be for the rest of my life? And this is just part of the process and the results of the experiences I've been through. And finally, during my annual physical with my doctor, he goes, "Oh no, you're clearly experiencing post-traumatic stress, and we've got a very formal protocol now." And as he talked through what I'd gone through before, one, they didn't have as clear of a protocol at that point in time, but even then, mine had been interrupted by the second deployment. He said, "Let me get you to talk with the stress management folks, the psychological health folks." And as soon as I met with them, they said, "No problem. We've got a very clear protocol. We'll get you on that, and we can guarantee that that when you're through with this, you will feel much better and won't have near the level of symptoms that you're having." So I decided, well, I'll share my own experiences and story on a broader basis. It seemed like it was the right thing to do, and I could use my experience to set the example and kind of encourage people to come forward. But when I mentioned it to my wife, she's the one that kind of said, "Well, you sure you want to do that? How's that going to affect your career? How's that going to be perceived?" And I thought about it, and I said, "Well, it really doesn't matter. It needs to be there, and if I can set the example and get people to come forward, then it's all worth it, whatever happens." And it was amazing. I expected to get the whole gamut of kind of feedback from one end of the spectrum to the other, but it's all been positive. I want to continue to play a leadership role in helping to destigmatize the whole issue, and I look at it as it's just like a physical injury. If you break your leg, you're going to go to the doctor, you're going to get help, you're going to be on crutches for a while, you're going to have a cast, but then you're going to get better. You're going to get through it, and then you're going to be tougher afterwards. And we need people, the whole chain of command, as well as the soldiers themselves, thinking of it that way, thinking of mental health and psychological resiliency and strength, that, hey, you've had an injury here, and you need to get it fixed, and there's processes to fix that, and you'll be better and stronger afterwards, so get the help. Part of the stigma is that people think if I ask for help that I'm showing weakness, whereas I think it's just the opposite. It takes real strength to say, I've got an issue that I'm dealing with, and it's affecting my life, and it's affecting my performance, and I need to go get some help and don't need to suffer with this unnecessarily. There is help to get.